Alright, this is the lecture that which we go over the syllabus. So this video is actually right in here if you ever want to watch it again. But what we want to do is we actually want to go to this little link right here called the Syllabus Link. So very important. This is when we go through the syllabus to sort of see where we're at, and if you want to stay in the course and all the points, where the points come from in the course. So let's just go through it real quick here. When you click on the syllabus link, what it tells you, it actually gets you to the schedule right away. So that's the first thing is, even it's in the syllabus itself, I want to just sort of point out the schedule. This is what we're going to be doing. Roughly we are doing 2 sections a day, and that is fast. I've never taught this class in a 6-week session before. The tightest I ever did this class was an 8-week session. So this is super fast. If you're ready for it, hopefully you've seen the material before. That would tremendously help you with what you need to do in this class. But pretty much we're doing 2 sections a day. Just kind of prepared for that. They're roughly about an hour each as far as lecture is concerned, and then you had about an hour of homework to do. So in a sense, I'm thinking about 4 hours a day. If you're struggling with some topics, maybe even 5 hours a day. So if you can devote that time, that's kind of what you're looking at if you want to stay in the course. Alright, so here it is. Here's a schedule for the whole entire semester. There it is. We have homework that's due. We also have these chapter tests that are due. So here it is, chapter test 1, and then we go again 2 sections a day for chapter 2, then the last little section here, which is an odd 2.9 section, just 1. You have a chapter 2 test here, and again going, and then you do have a midterm. So on a Friday night, on the last day in June, or the last Friday in June, sorry, June 29th, you will come in and take a midterm exam for 2 hours. Talk more about that as we get there. Chapter 4 is a very, very quick section. There's only 4 sections in chapter 4. So be mindful, chapter 4 goes very quick. I am glad that right after the lecture for chapter 4 there's a 4th of July. So it gives you a little, at least 1 day's break before taking the chapter test. So there's a little gap right there because we do take a vacation on July 4th. Alright, chapter 5 goes, chapter 6 goes, and then notice chapter 7, I became a little picky here in my sections here. So 7.1, 7.2 we are going to do. We're going to skip 7.3. Then we do 7.4 and 7.6 with skipping 7.5. And then in order to cram all this in, hopefully you're not doing it this day, but there's a 7.7 with the end of chapter 7 right then and there. And then we take a final that day. This is the last day of instruction, last day of the class, which is July 20th. So again, you have to come on a Friday night from 5 to 7 and do your final exam. Okay, so let's talk about it. That was just the schedule. Let's talk about the syllabus itself. So hopefully you know what you've signed up for. This is Math 15. It's a pre-calculus class, summer 2018. There's a textbook right here. There's the ISB number for the textbook, so you have all the information that you need. Question always comes up, Mr. H, do we need a textbook? Officially, I have to say you do. But when you sign up for the My Math Lab, the ebook is already there. So you don't need another textbook unless you super duper want to spend like $200 to have a physical textbook in your hand. I suggest you don't. You're gonna go to the My Math Lab, which is about $80 to buy it, and you have to buy that because all the homework that you're gonna do, all the chapter tests you're gonna do, the midterm final, it's all gonna be there, and that's only gonna cost you $88, and it also has a ebook there. So there's that. Okay, so my name is Arkady Hunjiev. That is my office number in case you need to call me. It's gonna leave a voice message, and it's going to go directly to my email. I won't be in the office since this is summertime, but it will go, that voicemail will go to my email. If you want to email me directly, that's fine too. Go for it, and I can email back. Alright, the prerequisites for this course. Hopefully you have passed Math 63 or Algebra 2 as the equivalent, and hopefully you're ready to tackle some other fun stuff. Course objectives, there are 18 of them. I don't expect you to know them right now, but we will cover all those things in the class. Student learning outcomes, these are the 4 important things as math faculty got together that you should be able to do these. These are sort of like the core items of the class. So we usually take an exam on them during the semester, but not the summer semester. And we have something called institutional student learning outcomes. These are kind of like the themes at West Hills College. So if you've ever taken any class whatsoever, it should fall under these 7 themes of learning. Alright, so let's get to the crux of the matter here. So you do have lectures that you'll be watching. I have made videos from me teaching previous semesters, and all those videos are queued up. They're in a YouTube channel, and pretty much it's almost like sitting and watching a lecture. And so sometimes it gets a little bit dry. I try to have some fun and have some fun stories in there too, as long as it doesn't get too dry. Alright. You also have some files. There's some of the files menu, but they're pretty much notes for the lecture notes for the lecture. So I'll explain that as we look at the navigation for Canvas. Alright, so you do have online homework to do. It is on the My Math Lab. It is due 11 p.m. of the day that of the due date. So 11 p.m. and you have unlimited attempts to finish those. Now, for Chapter 1 particularly, I did send all the due dates when you do the chapter test for Chapter 1. I know you guys are just getting started, sort of getting your feet wet, trying to figure out about the course. So Chapter 1, the due dates are relaxed on the homework, but then after Chapter 1, then they are going to be strictly applied. Alright, so the chapter test, again, you're going to go to the My Math Lab. This one you do only have 4 attempts to get the right answer. So this one, just kind of be more mindful of that. And the way I structure my class is you do the homework. You should have a good thorough knowledge of the homework. The more important concepts go on a chapter test, and then the more important concepts from the chapter test should get on a midterm and a final. So that's my sort of understanding of it here in my mind. Alright, attendance policy. Since this is not a physical class that you go to, my attendance policy is that if you do not complete 4 section homework assignments or you skip the midterm, just not there, that'll be grounds to drop you. It doesn't mean that I will. If you really want to stop and attending the class, make sure you drop yourself from the course. Alright, so then the midterm, as we talked about earlier, the midterm, you do have 2 attempts to answer it correctly. There is a 10% penalty when you answer the correct answer the second time, so that'll be a little bit of a hit there. Alright, so Friday, June 29th at 5 to 7 gives you the room number. As we get closer to the date, I will give you more information here. The final, same thing here. It's going to be the last day of instruction, 5 to 7, and the date. Alright, so let's talk about this here. Do you need to come to campus or do you not need to come to campus? So here it is. If you live more than 70 miles away from Coalinga, you can go and have your exam proctored. Now, it can't be a classmate, can't be your friend. It actually has to be at a assessment facility. So usually it's a close university or a college that's close to your to where you live. That's where you want to go to, and that's where you want to be in order to do so. If you live less than 70 miles or 70 miles or less, then you are expected to come for the midterm and the final exam proctored. And you'll have more information as we get closer to this date. You'll have to bring a photo ID, you'll have to sign in, all that good stuff here. Alright, and contacting me, how should we do this here? So here's kind of just some 3 sort of guidelines here. General question about the course, email me. I should respond to you within 24 hours here. If you need to talk to me, I'm going to set up something like chat hours or like some kind of virtual environment where we can interact with again, more on that coming. Stuck on a homework question that you really are stuck on, you can go back to the video or you can email me. I will try to respond quickly to those. Alright, and the drop date, please look at the catalog description to figure out when the drop date is. The scoring for it is try to make it as easy as possible here. 200 points for homework, 200 points is going to be weighted for the chapter exams. 200 is going to be the midterm and the final. It's going to be 200. So possible of 800 points for the class. And then the traditional rubric of breaking down points, 80, 90, 70, 60 is the breakdown of the grades. And one little caveat to that is this part right here. You do have to earn an average of 70% between your midterm and your final exam score. So again, there's a quick example of it, but pretty much this is to mitigate cheating in the class or someone else doing the work for you. So you do have to come in, and if you're getting completely low scores on the midterm and the final, then we have a problem on our hands. Alright, so the average between your midterm and the final has to be at least 70% to receive a C or above in the class. Alright, conduct just means if you're doing something forbidden by school regulations, you will be withdrawn from the class. And we do have support services for this class. There's a whole bunch of support services at West Hills College, so if you need some kind of support service, if you need to talk to a counselor, there's a whole bunch of different support services here. Look them up. They're on the college catalog as well, so look them up, particularly the DSPS students. If you do need, or if you have a learning disability, or you think you might have a learning disability, take the time to go and seek out the DSPS lab on campus. There's also the phone number there to them directly. Alright, and this is the same schedule that was up front over there. And just a little caveat, a little disclaimer, just means if there's anything that really is going to be all bad, in case of emergency, I might have to change the schedule, but that rarely happens in an online class. So, alright, so there's the overview of the syllabus. Please email me if you have any further questions on the syllabus, and I will respond maybe in a if I missed something, I'll respond in a group email to everybody so that everybody is aware of the requirements and the syllabus for the class. Thank you so much.